Security First is a series of events we put on around the globe now, and they are an opportunity for us to really bring some of the thought leaders from across industry, from inside integrity as well, but also from across industry, because I think it's important to get multiple voices. Security First is a term that we've been using for a good number of years, and actually came before we ran our Security First conferences, and talks to our model and our view of cybersecurity, which is to enable organizations to look at the full life cycle of cybersecurity, and so look at it holistically rather than just looking at one single segment. It can't just be a technology, it can't be the technologists, the analysts, the engineers. It has to come from the very top of the organization to think actually cybersecurity is important. It's one of our key risks to our business, so we need to take that seriously and put the right effort, the right spend, and the right focus on it to make sure that we're not the next organization to be in the headlines and get breached.
So it's not so much that AI is actually finding new things to exploit, but rather that it can automate a lot of the activities that normally would be performed by human attackers. So therefore they can find exposures a lot faster, they can adapt more quickly to blockers that they find, and then they can execute more and more stages of the attack autonomously and at scale. So I think that's the biggest thing that we're facing. And then on the defensive side, we need to fight fire with fire. So we need to be able to move away from maybe some of the manual and sort of fragmented visibility that we've had in order to be able to respond to that increasing scale and rapidity of attack.
From a security operations standpoint, it's helping previously under pressure security analysts now able to process hundreds of thousands of alerts, to be able to join the dots between those hundreds of thousands of alerts, to show chronological timelines of how an adversary has entered into an organisation and moved throughout. The organisations that win out will be the ones that combine automation with effective judgment, speed with effective governance, and utilising technology with human expertise.
AI has impacted cybersecurity by unfortunately really empowering the threat landscape. It's made them faster, it's given them more sophistication than they've had before, and it's also lowered the barrier to entry. So it's doing a lot of good things for the adversaries. What it is for us is a lot of opportunity. We can have a phenomenal edge if we move to things like agentic auto triage, auto investigation, but we're really sort of only dipping our toes right now into what AI can do for us, but a lot of opportunity ahead.
From my experience working with customers, they have to understand their own gaps in their own network. I think a lot of organizations tend to be very one or two tool focused. They think, oh, I have an EDR installed on my endpoints and I'm perfectly fine now. I don't need to worry about anything else beyond that. Unless they're doing proper analysis in their own environment, doing proper testing to really make sure they're resilient, they won't really know their own gaps. So my recommendation would be to constantly look at what's happening in the news, what's happening in other organizations, take those learnings and test your own environment to make sure that you have those gaps closed.
Actually, Ireland's in a very strong position through talent, through focus from both government and from the businesses, whether international or homegrown.